I ain't hungry. First, I always say hungry dogs run fast. I ain't hungry. I'm starving.
Hurd takes the snap. He's back. He's going to run. He's in. Touchdown. Jalen Hurd.
When that cage opens up again, our teeth are snarling. We're drooling. We're ready. We're hungry, ready to hunt again.
Dallas. We hate you. Racing snow. The Eagles train to go. The Eagles win.
And again, and again, and again.
It ain't about them. It's about us. We play up to our potential. Each and every one of us together. Nobody can beat us. I promise you.
What is up, my brews, my bird brews? We are back. It's another Speaking Birds. It's your boy Speaks. We got the crew back together. We got Clayton and John. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Oh,
What's up? Good to be back.
We are joined here today as division champs. The Eagles wrap up the division at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Man, that was a game.
Whew. Started a little slow. I was a little worried, but get pissed on.
Dude, I love it. There was much said throughout the week, I know in our circle at least, about Kenny Pickett. I tried to remain positive, and it looked early on as if it was going to go downhill quick. Clayton, you want to talk about your boy Pickett? What'd you see? Sure. Any likes, dislikes?
Early on, man, I was worried, to be honest with you. I don't have a high opinion of Kenny, and that's just me.
Yeah.
I'm biased, so I'll just get that out there right now. But no, I mean, he settled in, and he looked good, dare I say. I mean, he looked like he belonged. I know early on I was saying this guy's not an NFL quarterback, but he looked like he settled in and looked like he belonged. He made some nice, throws there. A couple to Smitty. Had that one called back on AJ. That was a really nice throw. So no, I mean, he did a lot of good things. It's, it doesn't look the same as when Jalen's in there, though, obviously.
For sure. Yeah.
But I can't kill him. I wanted to kill him so bad, but I can't. I can't. I really can't. He played well. So good job, Kenny. Came in and handled business.
I think that tempo kind of set him in. You know what I mean? Let him get in a rhythm there. That's really where it started when they put him in tempo.
Yeah, 100%. And they were going like up tempo. Like they weren't even doing like the muddle huddle or like the half huddle. They were like legit no subs. They were just right back up to the line, not letting Dallas sub in at all. So, and if you can do that to where there's no subs, you're basically what the defense is going to be in. There's only like 2 or 3 plays that they can run. So I think that really helped him settle in because he pretty much knew what was coming when they went to that up tempo. It was smart. I mean, that was smart. That was smart game plan by Kellen and Nick there. So kudos to them.
Talk about that a little more. That's interesting, Clayton. What you just brought up a point. So when you run tempo, the personnel that the defense is going to have out there, and you're saying there might be 2 or 3 looks that you can get from that defense. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So like, let's say you see that your personnel package out there matches up really well against what they're out there with. So let's say they're out there in a big nickel or something like that. Yeah. And you see that you can, you have a couple mismatches. So what you'll want to do there is you'll run your first play and see what their base package was or their base play was, if it was man or if it was zone, what they were really doing. And then you don't sub out, you immediately get back up to the ball. Now that stresses the defense. Because they don't. It's not like the offense. They don't have a ton of play calls that they have preset. It's usually just a base defense. So there's a very strong possibility you're probably going to see the exact same thing that you just seen. So if you can get up to the line, get your play in, I'm sure when they're doing that, when they come out of the huddle, they have a bunch of shit already called ahead of time. And then he just screams out whatever the key word is, and everybody knows what play it's going to be. And then you can exploit them. And they were doing that quite a bit. Whenever he got into that rhythm in the second quarter there, that's exactly what they were doing. So, I mean, John was dead on with that. They went like up tempo where there was no subbing. And
I like that.
Kenny knew what the hell he was looking at, and he was able to, hit it and exploit it.
Especially if you get a mismatch there. Let's say, we have 3 wide receivers in and, they don't come in with a nickel back and they have a linebacker. Now you have a big mismatch on a linebacker that can't sub out. You know what I mean? So you can continually, exploit him.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something do you think is emphasized like going in, like going in and prepping for the team? Do you think they're looking for that kind of stuff, and they're telling Kenny like, hey, if we get this look, we're gonna run these like up tempo plays. You think?
100%. And I think with the reason we didn't see it early on, well, one is just the offense was completely out of sync the first quarter. I mean, they ran 6 plays.
Yeah,
It was 2 3 and outs. It was ugly. They came out, ran 3 straight passes, and then came back out and ran 3 straight runs, and they both failed. So once that happened and their scripting's done, I think they kind of reassessed on the sideline. Was like, okay, if we could get them into this, or if you see them come out in this and we're in this, there's no sub, and we're just going to go. And I can guarantee you they were game planning for that all week.
Nice.
They were looking for certain packages that they wanted to exploit.
I also think they were trying to just settle him down, get a couple quick throws, like his first throw right there when they went tempo was just like a nice quick throw to settle down, settle in, so.
And you can really get into a rhythm doing that because, it's just quick stuff. There's no thinking in between, none of this bullshit. You're just, you're right back in it, back on the line, ready to go. You know what you're going to see, you know that they're not subbing out. So the package that they were in, it's going to be, pretty much the same thing that you just seen on the last play. So yeah, definitely it can help you get into a rhythm because you know what's coming.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, looking at the game, Chauncey coming back in with that pick six. I admittedly I had stepped away and I heard it on the TV and I did the run back. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. You do the run, the trot back. I'd stepped away for a minute to go to the fridge. But man, no, it was like, man, we're division champs, and I think about I don't know, I hate to even keep harping on last season. I'm not harping on it, but I think a good team is teams that don't let things go bad when they should or could go bad. That's what I was thinking about after the game finished. I was like, this team is not letting things go bad when they should. Second string quarterback, chance to win the division. You got Dallas, and they come in there and they they 41-7 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, to me, this team, and I don't want to say the best in the NFL. I don't want to even say the best in the NFC, but man, this team is showing resolve. Sorry, I'm rambling, guys. This is how I feel.
No, I mean,
that's how I feel.
I agree. There was a little bit of a slow start. They were starting to run all over us, but I think, they dialed that back in too. So the D had to settle in a little bit, and then they come with the pick six, you know what I mean? And then, forced fumble and another pick by Chauncey. So, I mean, Cooper Rush looked like he was going to start picking us apart a little bit there, but
he did. It was kind of concerning. Yeah, it was concerning.
I was getting upset. But
I was like, what's going on here? Well, they had some really good timed. Their timing seemed good. The receivers and him, it seemed like they were they were timing it out, and that was concerning for sure.
But yeah, then once the turnover started, it was pure domination at that point for the most part.
Man, does anyone have that? I know Clayton was updating the are we what is it 8 turnovers in the last 6 quarters? What was that?
9 in the last 2 games. So the last insane. 8 quarters we have 9 turnovers.
That's insane.
Oh, you're telling me.
Yeah. I mean, that's promising. I love it. Man.
After last week, it's nice to get back to just that pure dominating football.
Yeah. Clayton, I'm curious. We missed you on the did we get you on the last game?
No, we missed him.
Nope.
How did you what was your panic meter? I know you're usually an optimistic guy as opposed to my sort of freak out. Going into this game, were you a little panicked? Are you worried at all about this team? How are you feeling after last week's game?
I was after last week's game. It definitely kind of shook me a little bit. And I usually don't get shook, but to see Washington,
the car stay on the road. The car stay on the road.
Thank God I wasn't driving. It might not have. No, just watching that game and what they did to the defense. It's never seen that this year from the defense, and it's you have 5 turnovers, and that's great, but you give up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Man, that's a collapse.
Yeah.
That scared me. And it was one of those things where this is my biggest fear for this team is we have a ton of young guys starting on defense, some rookies. Man, it's a long season. You can fall off a cliff really quick, man. If your conditioning isn't there, you start losing your legs. That was my fear. I was like, oh my god, dude. Watching Quentin or Mitchell get beat on a double move like that. You never see that. McLaurin double move him and embarrass him like that. Burnt toast. I was like, oh my gosh, dude, what is happening here?
Their seasons, like for a rookie or like a second year guy, their season's over right now. You're getting like bowl games. If you like, yeah, I mean they're done. So you're gonna really see maybe some fatigue on these guys.
Yeah, and that's my biggest fear. And then just seeing that, and it looked like at the end of the game. And that's another thing. People like I'm watching some of the post stuff, and people are like, "Well, your defense is out there on the field." It's like, dude, the defense was out there for 23 minutes. Like, let's not sit here and say that Redskins just dominated the time of possession. We dominated the time of possession, and the defense looked cooked, especially in that fourth quarter. And then with CJ going out, I mean, that was it. I mean, they knew Tristan McCollum was the target. I mean, that's the X right there. You just keep going at him wherever he is. You just keep attacking him, and you're going to find success. And that's what they did. So yeah, that was and just the sloppiness of it also kind of
unorganized.
Yeah,
they were unorganized.
It's taking dumb penalties. Undisciplined penalties. You have too many people on the field. Personnel isn't even right. It just. It looked super bad, and that's the type of game that you shouldn't be seeing at the end of the season like that, especially in a game against a divisional rival where you can clinch your division on.
Right.
That's an important game. Like if you would have clinched that last week, we're smooth sailing. It doesn't even matter today. Like we're not sweating coming into today. Even without our starting quarterback. Essentially, you could have almost did like 2 bye weeks because you don't have much to play for. I mean, it all comes down to what happens in this Green Bay Vikings game and then on Monday night with the Niners and the Lions.
Talk me through that. Yeah, because we have the division. We are we're pretty much we locked up the second seed.
We're guaranteed. Yep.
So what has to happen here? I know we track it every week, but I get so confused. Like I get lost.
I know exactly what has to happen. It's
go ahead,
Green Bay. If Green Bay beats the Vikings today, and the Lions lose to the Niners, and then the Vikings beat the Lions in the last week, we win the tiebreaker.
Yes, sir.
Interesting.
It all comes down to the Niners, honestly. Can the Niners knock off the Lions? Because I really believe the Packers have the ability to beat the Vikings here, and
for sure.
I can't wait to get into that game after this pod.
Yeah,
because I really want to see, because we're going to see probably one or two of these teams from that division. We're right now, if everything stays the way it is, we're going to see Washington round 1, and then you're probably going to see an AFC North opponent after that if you win that game. So
yeah,
it's time to start watching these guys a little more closely. Now that everything's rounding into the final form here, and see what we're up against. I guess I got to start taking the Vikings seriously. I mean, at some point you are what your record says you are, and they have a good record.
Serious, man.
I'm with you. I'm with you, but I mean, damn, they keep winning. And who the hell knows?
You know what? It's nice to, I despise the Vikings, but it's nice to see Sam Darnold actually come out and show that he can play football. You know what I mean? It's just like NFL teams just completely quit on people right away if you're not good at 20. There's no maturing, if you will.
Yeah, especially in that quarterback position. Like, it's like draft them if they don't win right away. Like done. Like we're gonna see the same thing happen with Caleb Williams. Like touted as like the next generational talent is gonna get wasted because of a franchise. Well, go ahead, Clayton. I'm sorry.
No, dude, that would be crazy if Caleb Williams gets scrap heaped. Oh my gosh, that would be like the biggest flop ever because everybody had him as the next Patrick Mahomes, coming out. And I watched him at USC. I was like, man, I don't believe it. But Sam Darnold, also a USC guy. I don't trust USC quarterbacks coming out right away.
No,
I should say.
No,
some of them will develop.
Most of them have been not great. You look at Leinart.
Well, my thing is like at USC, like you would watch his body language a little bit. I mean, it's like, and he's doing the same stuff in Chicago where he's dropping the head and he's laying on the bench. One of my favorite sayings is believe people when they tell you who they are.
Oh, for
And
sure.
that this guy has proven that, like, I don't know, he like can't handle it, or he gets down. I don't know. You look back on it and you start to think like, I don't know, were the signs there?
He wanted a portion of the franchise.
That was the craziest thing I ever heard, man.
I love it though. I appreciate the shot. You gotta take the shot, like, right?
That's ballsy. I'll give him that. That is a ballsy maneuver right there.
Find out your portion's worth negative money you actually owe
You
because it's the
actually owe it.
goddamn Bears.
You will
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, it's like I want everything but stock in this team.
I believe your
Yeah, go
guys'
ahead.
point here. I think your guys' point's correct here. I mean, look at Geno Smith. That guy resurrected his career. They threw him on the scrap heap. It's like, man, some of these quarterbacks, they're not ready to carry a franchise, and you throw them onto a trash team.
Exactly.
And it's not only just a trash team, it's a trash franchise, so the team's never going to get better. Even though they're picking in the top, 5, top 10 every single year, and your franchise is trash for years, it's like, dude, what do you expect? Like, come on. And
Man,
I mean,
yeah.
Joe Burrow
Yeah,
is
go.
a perfect example right here. He is willing that team to all their victories, man. That franchise is not going to do anything for him. They're not going to give him a line. They're not going to bolster the defense. They're probably going to lose the receivers that he has, except for Chase. And they're just going to say, well, get us to the playoffs. That's good enough for us. That's the mentality of that owner. That's why Eagles fans should be super happy that they have Jeff Lurie, he wants titles. He wants to win. He's willing to pay whatever he has to pay to make this thing work. And
Or
he's
even
got
sell
Howie.
the team to get some liquid cash to get those contracts. I mean, like,
Exactly.
you have to have those contracts in the bank. When you guarantee money, you have to have it in escrow. And if you don't have the cash, like, it's hard to do.
And also, if you go around the league and look, this doesn't count against the cap. He's willing to pay the assistants and the coordinators and all that top dollar. Like, Philadelphia Eagles assistant coaches and trainers and coordinators are all among the highest paid in the league. Whether they're qualified to be the highest paid in the league or not, that's another question. But they usually are, and that's straight from Lurie. So, I mean, Eagles Nation, you guys be happy that Jeff Lurie is our owner, and that he's going to be here for a while, or him and his son, because his son has the same mentality. So
I'm excited to see what his son does down the line, but not to here to just like touch on the quarterback and like the Caleb Williams stuff. Here's a shower thought that I had, but I did think about it in the shower. Like, in that same vein of like quarterbacks that are thrown away, I was like looking at like Jalen Hurts' trajectory and like how not to like stroke his ego or anything, but he comes in, he gets drafted in the second round. We already had Wentz, and there's like, I was thinking about how he navigated that situation to where like he is today, and think like his first he comes in, he completes the season. He had a nice win against the Saints, if I'm not mistaken, and then the next season he had Sirianni, and I think he went like what 4 and it was like wasn't a great season, right? It was like 4-12 or something like that. No.
Well, Hurts, no. We started off that 2-5, and then the Roots speech came in, and we finished strong and made the playoffs.
Okay, and then the next season he Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I think he did a really good job at navigating a new coach, a new system, and he could have easily failed. So I don't know. I was thinking about just shouting Hurts out for navigating that, and I think he's a really special player at the end of the day, at least in my opinion. I don't know, I'm rambling.
No, I'm with you.
Here's something you said, Clayton, that I wanted to go back to in terms of like last week's game, just looking sloppy, undisciplined, or whatever. Like, how do you think, did we clean some of that up today, or did it carry over?
It wasn't as bad, but so penalties aside, it wasn't just that. Like, when I say undisciplined and sloppy, it was assignments. Like, they were missing, specifically on defense, they were missing assignments. Communication was not great, and there were a few hiccups today, but nothing like last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the penalties,
No,
I mean, we've seen another, ejection. Seen a couple personal fouls. It was getting chippy, but I mean, again, another division rival.
Sidney Brown tossing that guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he was cleaning up the trash,
Yeah.
sending them out. I'm
Yeah,
okay
love
with
it.
it.
I was gonna say I have no problem with that, to be honest with you, especially because he took 2 of them out with him.
I love the cops
Yeah.
running away from it.
Yeah, dude, the fucking security officers are like, I don't want none of this. I'm out.
Oh my god. Yeah. Man, it was a great win. I love it. That guy
Feels
giving the ball
good.
back, like what
Yeah.
are you guys doing in that situation? You catch the
Oh, I'm
ball.
giving it
First of all, you're catching a ball from AJ Brown. How cool. I mean, to even say that you could do that. I mean, not many people can. I mean, normal people. And yeah, I'm giving it back to 100%.
Not to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm trying to work some season tickets out of it for next year.
for sure. Yeah, I might have negotiated a little bit.
I tell you what, when he throws that into the stands, if I'm even in the vicinity, I'm mugging everybody to get to it, dude.
100%. Yeah.
Pass interference horribly. I'm coming for you,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, you never see like a small kid with that.
No, no.
Like, how did that guy get it? He probably mugged everyone in sight,
Yeah.
Man.
I remember being at a Phillies game as a kid, and I see this Philly fanatic. He has this T-shirt cannon, and he points to me. I swear, shoots it right to me. This old man rips it right out from over my head. Philly,
That's about right.
sad as hell. He opens it up. It's like a Mike Schmidt T-shirt. I'm like, Jesus
Oh,
Christ, man.
man.
Sick. I will say though, like I worked at Wrigley Field for a couple seasons, and I mean, you'd see like even like a foul ball that gets hit, like you could be a 50-year-old man, but if you never got to catch a foul ball as a boy, like and look, you always want the kids to get it, but a lot you see it, like you see these like grown men live out this like childhood fantasy of catching a foul ball. And like it's a serious thing, so
Hey, I can relate. I'm at a Senators game, dude. I'm going hard. Now, once I
Yeah.
catch it, if
Oh,
there's
yeah.
kids around, I may give it to a kid, especially if I, caught it over their head or whatever. But I'm going hard. If a ball's coming my way, I'm going hard to get it.
yeah, it
I
doesn't
tried-
matter how
I-
old you are, like catching a foul ball is catching a foul ball.
Exactly.
I tried to steal one from Craig earlier this year. The center fielder of some team threw him one. I tried to snag it out of his hands.
Exactly, man. You could be there with friends, you're trying to snag it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
I love it.
Trip
Man,
him.
So yeah. throw him down. As it stands now, if things remain the same, we will see the Washington Commanders. How do you guys feel about that? It's the playoffs. Every team is going to be good, but I feel good. What do you got? How do you guys feel?
Can't wait, especially after they were mocking us after the game last week.
Yeah, not a good
So,
move by them if you're
yep.
thinking about bulletin board material and such.
Can't wait. It's exactly how I wanted it.
Yeah, that's the way that they treated that win. It
was a Super Bowl.
It's 100%. That's exactly what I was going to say. They didn't take anything into perspective, and they're acting like they just won the Super Bowl. It's like, first of all, that win really does nothing but keep your playoff hopes alive. We're already clinched. And number two, you just beat a backup quarterback that came in cold, and it barely beat him at that. Like, come on, man. You guys are acting like you stomped a mud hole on us. You definitely did not. You squeaked one out at home, against a backup quarterback when we played our worst game of the season, and it's not close on defense. The most undisciplined and just fundamentally flawed game. And that goes up to Vic as well. His play calling was pretty bad in that game, and he admitted it. I mean, he came out and
he said such, yeah.
And I thought when I was watching it, I was like, man, this is like not normal Vic stuff. Like, and then you're seeing him blitz and, Jaden Daniels, because Jaden Daniels just standing back there. We're blitzing. We're not getting to him. The middle of the field's wide open. That's where he was like eating and killing us on third down specifically. So yeah, like, come on, man. You guys, that was kind of a fluke. So please, I want to see you again. I want to end your season for you real quick. Show you who's daddy. Who's daddy in the East, all right?
Yeah, we are. We're the champs. We like.
Yeah.
There's no disputing. We are the champ. Man, I love that. I want to see like. I gotta get on Twitter and see the celebrations, but like, man, I love that. We got the shirts and the hat today. We got the shirts and the hat.
Yeah, we also got to see our third string quarterback throw 2 TDs that were beautiful.
Let's talk about it. I
Man.
love Tanner McKee, as I know you guys do as well.
Yeah, 3 for 4, Tanner McKee, 2 TDs, 156.2 passer rating.
He looked good.
Woo.
He just stands tall. He's a tall guy.
Yeah, man, love that.
That back shoulder throw to AJ for that touchdown, that was, man, I'm sorry. Coming in cold, obviously didn't get any of the reps this week. Doesn't work with AJ to begin with usually. So, the timing between those two isn't going to be great.
He might have this week a little bit.
I imagine he got in there a little bit, but he didn't get, like the
First team
picket,
reps. Yeah.
the picket reps. You better not.
Well, here's when you're throwing the top 5 receiver, you just got to know where to put it, right? That's on McKee, and he did great. I mean, AJ Brown's gonna find it, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
that one hander that was out of bounds was one of the most.
I was a little harsh
grabs.
on him. I'm like, you got to get 2 in there, but that was sick. That was sick.
Man, if that would have been probably the grossest catch I've ever seen if he would have brought that in, 2 feet in. That's way better than anything Odell Beckham Jr. pulled with his one-hander.
Go ahead, man.
No, I was just saying, I can't believe there wasn't a flag thrown. The guy has AJ's arm, like he's holding his arm with both of his arms, and there's no pass interference on it. Like whatever. I mean, the officiating wasn't great again today, so but that's just. I guess that's how the year's gonna go.
Par for the course.
Yeah.
Yeah, demoralizing too. It just goes up and plucks it. I mean, if you're the DB there, you're like, all right, well, he did everything he can. But let's talk Saquon. I know we talked about this a little bit.
31 attempts for 167 yards today.
So 167. As you listeners know, we've been keeping track. He needed about, what was it, like 134
average
over 2 games. So if you're a mathematician, you would know that he's cut his average down. Now he needs 101. Is that the tie or to break? Sometimes they say to tie.
101 to break.
I need 100
to tie. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know.
Let's talk about it. I mean,
I go for it.
I think here's how I see the game going, and here's how I'd like it to go. I don't want to trot Hurts out there into a playoff game having not played in a month, 3 weeks. I think you let Stoutland run his best half of running game, and I say you try to do it. If he's close, you maybe get 1 or 2. That's a slippery slope though, because if he's close, then you just keep him in. I don't know, Clayton. I know you have different views. What do you think?
Personally, I don't know, man. What I think they're gonna do is sit everybody, honestly, because I don't think they're gonna risk any. If you let's just say you trot Hurts in the starting offense out there, and Hurts, God forbid, takes another fucking hit like he took, and he's concussed, he's gone next week.
Well, here's the thing. I think you run the game plan like you're not rolling Hurts out. You're not putting him at risk. I mean, I really think, and sure, stuff can happen. You can get hit with the most simplest of game plans, but I think you really put an emphasis on him trying to get that record. We're not rolling Hurts out. This is basically like a showboat thing, in my opinion.
I don't think they're going to go for it because they pulled him early. Like if you were going to attempt it, I think they would have kept him in.
Yep, that was another thing I was going to say too. With them pulling him early, they almost tipped their hand right there as to what they're thinking. They're more concerned about health than this record, and I honestly think it's going to be a preseason game next season or next week.
I'm going to be mad. I'm not going to lie.
I'll be disappointed too. I didn't think he would actually get this close. I know we were talking about it the whole way up, and it was like, well, what range would it be if if he got there, what would you send the offense out? And I think we settled on like 60, 70 yards. We're here and it's 101 yards, man, and I think it's obtainable. But I understand the coach's perspective too. Like if you trot them out there and you lose anybody, you lose
Well,
any
yeah.
player on offense, man, in a meaningless game, then dude, you're gonna have questions to answer to, and
yeah.
people are gonna be pissed.
Well, here's something you brought up a couple pods ago, Clayton. Like, and I think if you're watching the game and you're like, why not just keep him out there? You need to have him with his offensive line. So like, it's not even about pulling Saquon. It's like we don't want to lose Mailata. We don't want to lose Johnson. Like if you're pulling those cats, you're not having So it's not about just pulling Barkley. It's like he's not out there if those guys aren't out there. And like, yeah, man, like you said it, like we don't want to lose Mailata going into the playoffs, like in a meaningless game against the Giants. So like that's another thing to think about. And it's not just about Barkley. It's about these other guys too.
And then and then there's another little, monkey wrench to the equation here. What if Green Bay beats the Vikings and the Niners beat the Lions? What happens then?
You're playing your starters.
You're playing your starters because you're going after that 1 seed. So I mean, we may be in it's so much uncertainty, man. It's going to come down to these 2 games today, or later today and tomorrow night, the Monday night game with the Niners and the Lions. It's going to come down to what happens there. I think first and foremost.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I have no faith in the Niners. I'm sorry, I really don't. But I mean, they may be playing to save their coach's job because I'm hearing talks that Shanahan's seats warming up here.
There's potential for this to happen. There really is. I know it looks kind of crazy, but there's definitely potential for this to happen.
Yeah, it's not out of the question. It's not like 50 different things need to happen and the stars need to align. It's like, dude, it's very possible Green Bay could knock the Vikings off tonight, and then it's very well, I don't know how possible it is that the Niners knock off the Lions, but if they do, the Vikings could beat the Lions next week. But either way, if the 2 games fall to where we need it, I think we play before them. So we're going to be playing for that number 1 seed. Like we're going to go out there and try to win the game to keep ourselves, in contention for the number 1 seed, regardless. So if you're rooting for the Barkley record, root for Green Bay and the 49ers these next 2 games.
Man,
because I think that's gonna be the deciding factor. If there's no shot at the 1 seed, I'm almost positive this coaching staff is going to err on the side of caution, and they're going to shut everybody down, and it's going to be a preseason game. We'll probably see McKee out there running with the 3s.
Which sucks, because I'd like to see more McKee with the 1s.
Me too.
I mean, obviously I want Hurts out there, but you know what I mean? I thought that would have been nice to see, because obviously the guy's never played in the NFL, but he never gets to play with anybody that's a 1, really. You know what I mean? So... But either way, I mean, that's on make or break for me. So
yeah, I don't even want it for Barkley. I want it for who knows how long we have Stout. I mean, I hate to even say that, but just to have that notch on his belt, he's done so much for this team, and Lane. You think about Lane, I want him to have that. It's not even about Barkley. I don't even care. This offensive line, just how they've been dominant for a decade now. I think they deserve it, man. I'm not even gonna lie.
And honestly, I think it'll probably mean more to the offensive line than it would to Saquon. Although, I mean, that's a big fucking deal. But just to go over 2,000 yards, that's a big deal too. He's only the 9th player in history to ever do that. So I mean, that's a big accomplishment. And I'm actually glad that they took a timeout and gave him some appreciation and some fanfare there. Nice. That was classy. I appreciate that. So yeah, man, that's nothing to scoff at either. I mean, the man went over 2,000. Only 9 people in the history of the league have ever done that. So that's a huge accomplishment. Shout out to him for that. Yeah, shout out to the offensive line and Stout. But man, it sucks that he's he has that record in his sights, and it's obtainable. If you ask me, I mean, I think we could. If we really wanted to, we could go out and get it for him. But man, do you want to risk it?
I think they do. I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm calling it. I think they do. I think
Then
I don't
then
think
he
they
better
play scared.
then he better show up with a round of Rivians. Forget the golf cart. Forget the golf carts.
Well,
It's time for a
my
round
thing.
of Rivians.
We talked about it on the last pod. I mean, come on, you're splitting the gift with Hurts. I mean, this guy got you these guys got you 2,000 yards. He can't. I don't know what. Maybe he got him something. I'm sure, but I don't know. I don't like these millionaires splitting gifts. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. But
I don't know if this is true, but I heard that they also got, I think, everybody on the team as well, which I don't understand if that's the case. Well, you want to get something special for your line, man, something original, you know. But
well,
that may have just been a rumor.
Yeah, they definitely. I think for him breaking 2K, they'll probably. I don't know. I mean, I could see them getting like Rolexes with like some engraving. I know I said that on the last pod, but like 2K is a big deal, like you said. I mean, I think they're gonna get something special for that. That's just protocol. I mean, you know. A little something for the guys.
Some Wagyu, you know, eating good.
Some
This week.
yes, sir.
Yeah. take this half-pound of Wagyu filet.
Here's a cow. You get a cow.
You get a cow.
Yeah, cow. The offensive line would love that. I bet Jerkins would love a cow.
Oh my God, he would. He'd jerky it. God damn it, man! You don't need to jerky the whole thing.
He just jerkies the whole thing.
Into that Wild Bill's jerky dust.
Yes.
Shout out to our next sponsor, Wild Bill's Jerky Dust.
Wild Bill's Jerky Dust. Man, I love it. I love it. How are your holidays, Clayton? Were they good?
Yeah, they were good. Got the boy his own gaming computer, so I can finally have mine back.
Nice, man. I like that. Yeah, I'm out here. I'm in a Washington cabin. I'm gonna do some squatching. For those of you who don't know, yeah, I'm gonna try and bag my just bag some evidence. You know, do what I can for the people.
I like to hear. Capture some evidence.
capture some evidence on my grainy camera that I brought just for that.
It's got to be from like the 70s, the reel to reel. It's real grainy.
yeah. Imagine I'm like, why did he have this weird 70s camera on him? just hoping to take some grainy photos. Interesting. Well, boys, what do you guys think? Anything else on the game? We're division champs. It feels good, but it doesn't feel too good. I feel like there's a job to be done still. It doesn't feel complete. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely a job to complete. Need to get healthy for the playoffs. I mean, we are pretty much healthy, but it'd be nice to get Hurts back. Hopefully he gets some reps, but he probably won't. So,
well, Clayton, you had said this, too. Like, speaking of like getting healthy, John, like you said, like it's kind of a blessing in disguise. I mean, you come out here with a win, you got the finger healing, you know, you're not out there putting yourself in risk of injury. With Hurts, it's almost like a blessing in disguise, right? A little bit.
yes, yeah, absolutely. Heal it up.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Focus on sliding. I'd like to see him slide.
That was a cheap shot. I mean, I don't know how many times we can go
but
back on it, but like, Jesus, dude, like, I mean,
you gotta take care of your body there.
Yeah, but say he slides, you're still gonna target his head. You know, I agree with you, but I mean, that was just like a cheap shot through and through.
Yeah. In other news, Devontae Smith had 6 catches for 120 yards, 2 TDs. AJ Brown,
I love that.
3 receptions, 36 yards for 1 TD. And then Grant Calcaterra had that disgusting catch.
That was gross. I will say, like, shout out to the receiving duo of AJ Brown and Smith, because, like, I mean, they're professionals, but sometimes you kind of shut down. I feel like last week when Hurts went out, I don't know, I kind of felt like the energy wasn't there, but they showed up for their backup, I'd say, right? I think they put on.
Absolutely. And it was nice to see the special teams kick the ball into the damn end zone.
Ooh, I know you're like the special teams coordinator over here. You're on them.
I mean, that was awful. That was some of the worst I've ever seen. But you know, you have the best kickoff returner in the league with Turpin, so it was nice to not let him return it too much there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think it only had 2 returns. So
Yeah. Well, boys, I'm gonna pop out of here as a division champ, as you guys should. Anything else you'd like to say, or anything you'd like to talk about the game?
I'm good.
Yeah. Go Birds.
Hey, go Birds.